Marco Polo was a Venetian explorer who is renowned for his seminal work, The Travels of Marco Polo. The book meticulously details his extensive journey and remarkable encounters across Asia. Polo traversed from Europe to Asia between 1271 and 1295. This video tells the story of Marco Polo. Marco Polo was born in 1254 in Venice, Italy. Despite being born into a wealthy Venetian merchant family, much of Polo's childhood was marked by parental absence, as he was primarily raised by extended family members. Tragically, Polo lost his mother at a young age, while his father and uncle, successful jewel merchants Niccolo and Maffeo Polo, were frequently engaged in business ventures in Asia during his youth. Niccolo and Maffeo's travels led them to present-day China, where they became involved in a diplomatic mission to the court of Kublai Khan, the Mongol leader whose grandfather Genghis Khan had established dominion over Northeast Asia. Upon their return to Venice in 1269, the brothers wasted no time in preparing for their next journey to Khan's court. During their time there, Khan had shown curiosity about Christianity and had requested the Polo brothers to return with 100 priests and a supply of holy water. The Khan's empire, the most expansive in history, remained largely enigmatic to those residing within the confines of the Holy Roman Empire. The concept of a refined culture existing beyond the influence of the Vatican appeared almost inconceivable, yet this was precisely what the Polo brothers recounted to perplexed Venetians upon their return. In 1271, Polo embarked on his epic journey to Asia alongside his father and uncle, a voyage that would span until 1295. Despite their efforts, they failed to muster the 100 priests requested by Kublai Khan, setting out with only 2, who, daunted by the arduous journey ahead, eventually turned back for home. The Polos Odyssey unfolded over land, navigating through daunting and often harsh terrain. Amidst the challenges, Polo found exhilaration in the adventure. His remarkable and remarkably accurate recollection of the places and cultures he encountered later distinguished his accounts. As they journeyed through the Middle East, Polo immersed himself in its sights and fragrances. His vivid descriptions of the Orient in particular offered the Western world its inaugural glimpse into the geography and cultural practices of the East. Challenges were inevitable. In what is modern-day Afghanistan, Polo was compelled to seek refuge in the mountains to recover from an illness he had contracted. Crossing the Gobi Desert proved to be a lengthy and strenuous endeavor. This desert is reported to be so long that it would take a year to go from end to end, Polo later wrote. And at the narrowest point, it takes a month to cross it. It consists entirely of mountains and sands and valleys. There is nothing at all to eat. After 4 years of arduous travel, the Polos finally arrived in China and were greeted by Kublai Khan, who resided in his magnificent summer palace called Xanadu. This grand marble architectural marvel left a profound impression on the young Polo, dazzling him with its splendor. Originally intending to be away for only a brief period, the Polos found themselves absent from Venice for over 23 years. Historians have debated whether Polo truly reached China, as there exists no corroborative evidence beyond his renowned book. Nevertheless, Polo's intimate knowledge of Chinese culture and customs poses a compelling argument. His later narrative depicted Khan's elaborate communication system, which formed the backbone of his governance. Polo's book extensively details this sophisticated structure, illustrating how it efficiently and economically facilitated communication across the vast expanse of the empire, spanning millions of square miles. Khan's embrace of the Polos provided the foreigners with unprecedented access to his empire. Niccolo and Maffeo were bestowed significant roles within the ruler's court, signifying their importance in Khan's eyes. Similarly, Polo's proficiency and skills as a merchant greatly impressed Khan, who held the young man in high regard. Polo's deep immersion in Chinese culture enabled him to master 4 languages during his time in the region. Eventually, Kublai Khan enlisted Polo as a special envoy, dispatching him to remote regions of Asia untouched by European exploration, such as Burma, India, and Tibet. Accompanying Polo on these missions was a sealed metal packet bearing Khan's insignia, serving as his official endorsement from the esteemed leader. Over time, Polo's commendable efforts garnered him promotions. He ascended to the position of governor in a Chinese city and subsequently received an appointment to the Privy Council by Khan. At another juncture, he assumed the role of tax inspector in the city of Yanzhou. Through his extensive travels, Polo not only acquired profound knowledge about the Mongol Empire, but also cultivated a sense of awe and wonder. He was particularly fascinated by the empire's pioneering use of paper money, an innovation yet to reach Europe, and was astounded by its thriving economy and vast scale of production. Polo's later narratives depict him as an early anthropologist and ethnographer, offering impartial and dispassionate accounts of the culture he had undoubtedly developed a fondness for. His reporting, devoid of personal reflections, provides readers with objective insights into a culture that captured his admiration. After spending 17 years in Khan's court, the Polos concluded that it was time to journey back to Venice. However, their decision did not sit well with Khan, who had come to rely on their presence. Eventually, he yielded to their request on the condition that they accompany a Mongol princess to Persia, where she was to wed a Persian prince. The Polos set sail with a caravan comprising several hundred passengers and sailors. The voyage proved perilous, fraught with storms and disease, resulting in the loss of many lives. Upon reaching the port of Hormuz in Persia, only 18 individuals, including the princess and the Polos, remained alive from the original group. After enduring 2 years of arduous travel, the Polos finally arrived in Venice. Having been absent for over 2 decades, their return to their homeland undoubtedly presented challenges. Their appearance had changed so much that they were unrecognizable to their family, and they struggled to communicate in their native tongue. Polo's accounts of his Asian adventures were compiled into a book titled The Description of the World, later renowned as The Travels of Marco Polo. Shortly after his return to Venice from China, Polo assumed command of a ship during a conflict against the rival city of Genoa. However, he was subsequently captured and sentenced to a Genoese prison where he encountered a fellow inmate and writer named Rustichello. Over time, Polo and Rustichello developed a close friendship, during which Polo recounted his experiences in Asia, detailing his observations, travels, and achievements. The publication of Polo's book catapulted him to celebrity status. Translated into French, Italian, and Latin, it became Europe's most sought-after read. Yet, skepticism lingered among many readers after dismissing Polo's accounts as mere fiction, the product of an overly imaginative mind. Consequently, the book earned the moniker, The Million Lies. Despite the skepticism, Polo staunchly defended the authenticity of his work, which would later serve as inspiration for subsequent adventurers and merchants. Following his release from prison in 1299, Polo returned to Venice. There he entered into marriage, raised 3 daughters, and dedicated himself to the family business for approximately 25 years. Polo passed away at his residence in Venice on January 8, 1324. In his final moments, he was visited by friends and admirers of his book, imploring him to confess that his accounts were fictional. However, Polo remained steadfast. "I have not disclosed even half of what I witnessed," he asserted. In the centuries following his passing, Polo has garnered the recognition that eluded him in his lifetime. Many of the marvels he witnessed have been substantiated by researchers, scholars, and fellow explorers. Even if his narratives were influenced by encounters with other travelers, Polo's tales have ignited the wanderlust of countless adventurers, motivating them to embark on their own journeys of discovery. 200 years after Polo's demise, Christopher Columbus embarked on his historic voyage across the Atlantic, carrying with him a copy of Polo's book, symbolizing the enduring legacy of Polo's travels and their impact on subsequent explorers.